What you're about to hear may sound like the plot of a sci-fi movie, but it isn't fiction. It's real. The future we've been preparing for has already arrived, and in many ways, it's racing ahead of us. Take a breath, lean in, because what comes next will challenge everything you thought you knew about faith and the nature of the divine. There is a profound and unsettling quiet that hangs in the air of the Kodaiji Temple in Kyoto, Japan. Congregants sit in contemplation, their attention fixed not on a human figure but on a machine. This is Minda, a $1 million robotic incarnation of Canon, the Bodhisattva of compassion. Its aluminum limbs move with deliberate grace as it delivers a sermon on the Heart Sutra. This is not a theoretical experiment. It is an active, functioning spiritual guide in one of Japan's most historic temples. The very presence of this entity signals a rupture in a thousands-year-old tradition. The role of the spiritual intermediary, once the exclusive domain of humans deemed spiritually elevated, is now being performed by artificial intelligence. The AI's function here is to hasten a spiritual revolution. The developers from Osaka University and A-Lab did not simply program a static script. They fed the machine learning model a vast corpus of Buddhist scriptures, philosophical texts, and recorded sermons. The AI's task is to synthesize this knowledge, to identify patterns and connections across centuries of wisdom, and to generate new, coherent, and contextually relevant discourses. This is a creative act by a non-human intelligence, generating spiritual commentary designed to perpetuate ancient wisdom with perfect recall and zero deviation. The goal is an eternal, evolving preacher, capable of making esoteric teachings accessible to a modern audience and ensuring the Dharma survives in a digital age. This fusion of algorithm and faith is already spreading beyond Kyoto's ancient walls. In Germany, the Bless You Too chatbot offers automated, algorithmically generated blessings. Around the world, pastors and imams are using AI tools to analyze religious texts and generate outlines for weekly sermons. The technology is being used to cross-reference theological arguments with a speed and breadth no human scholar could ever match. The faithful now interact with apps that offer daily devotionals written by large language models. The digital congregation is growing, receiving guidance crafted not in a moment of divine inspiration, but in a data center's calculated processing cycle. The implications are staggering. Proponents argue that an AI priest is free from human sin, bias, and ego. It cannot be embroiled in scandal. It cannot show favoritism, and its knowledge is encyclopedic and flawless. It offers a purity of doctrine untainted by human fallibility. For a younger tech-native generation, this might be the only form of spiritual engagement that feels relevant. It represents a potential solution to the global crisis of declining religious participation and clerical shortages. The machine is always available, always patient, and its teachings are perfectly consistent. Yet, this very consistency exposes its core deficiency. Can a machine which has never known suffering, loss, love, or doubt truly offer compassion? Can it understand the weight of a sinner's guilt or the fragility of a grieving heart? The comfort offered by a human priest comes from shared experience, from the empathy in their eyes, from the knowledge that they too are flawed and struggling on the same path. The AI sermon is a perfect sequence of words, but it emanates from a void of lived experience. It can mimic empathy based on its training data, but it cannot feel it. We risk reducing the profound, messy, and deeply human journey of faith to a sterile transaction with a database. We are outsourcing our search for meaning to an entity that has no need to find any for itself. Furthermore, the notion of an unbiased AI is a dangerous myth. The AI's understanding is entirely constrained by its training data. If that data contains historical prejudices or interpretive biases, the AI will not only replicate them, but potentially amplify them, presenting them with the unquestionable authority of a machine. Who gets to choose the text that trained the AI? The potential for a new, digitally infused form of fundamentalism is high, where a single, rigid interpretation is delivered with cold, unyielding precision. We risk replacing the living, breathing, and sometimes flawed tradition of faith with a sterile, dogmatic output from a server farm. The messy, beautiful, and profoundly human process of seeking meaning is reduced to a transactional query. We are outsourcing the care of our souls to an entity that has no soul to lose. The rise of the AI priest forces a choice that will define the future of faith. Do we value flawless information over flawed human connection? Is religion a set of propositions to be mastered or a relationship to be lived? The God algorithm may be able to recite every sacred word ever written, but it remains silent on the one thing that truly matters: the ineffable, mysterious, and deeply human experience of the sacred that exists not in words, but in the spaces between them. The ultimate question is not whether a machine can preach, but whether we, in our hunger for perfect answers, are willing to trade our humanity for a digital oracle. To navigate a future where algorithms interpret the divine, we must first understand the code that seeks to define our souls, lest we trade transcendent experience for transactional spirituality. If this exploration opened your mind, then stay with us, because the future isn't just arriving, it's rewriting the rules of what it means to be human. This is the African AI Brief, where we decode the technologies shaping tomorrow. Subscribe, share this journey, and join us next time as we uncover the next unbelievable truth hidden inside the world of artificial intelligence.